the closer you can get your mind back to that survival scenario, the more your body's going to say, we need to produce testosterone. The second reason why I think testosterone levels have decreased over time is that within a generation, your necessity for higher testosterone decreases. Meaning, if you take biological, like monozygotic twins, and one of them works in an office and the other one works on a farm baling hay, the one who works on the farm is going to have higher testosterone levels, just in general. That's just something that happens. That has nothing to do with specifically, in this case, we're controlling for genetics because they're monozygotic twins. But as your body requires more testosterone to rebuild muscles, your body's going to produce more testosterone. So within a specific generation, what you're going to see is as a man gets married, we can see this intergenerationally. As a man gets married, his testosterone levels go down because his body recognizes his necessity to go out there and compete for other women has decreased. So evolution teaches his testicles, hey, don't produce all this testosterone that's going to cause his blood to thicken and more, create a higher likelihood of him having a pulmonary issue or a cardiovascular issue. So that's essentially what happens. And then the same thing happens with the guy who's behind the desk, who consistently doesn't need testosterone to perform his job, and then his body puts on more fat, which goes back into the aromatization of the testosterone, turning it into estrogen, and we go down that spiral again. All of these things, we live in a society today where I don't need a lot of testosterone. That's why I go to the gym for an hour and a half, 2 hours every day to remind my body, what am I doing when I really am under that bench? Sometimes I do the bench. Casey, I know you're a personal trainer. You're going to be mad at me. Sometimes I'll put 250, 275 on the bench and I won't have a spotter. I won't. Why am I doing that though, Casey? What am I doing mentally?
Because you're putting yourself in a situation where you have to. It's your face versus that bar, and that tricks your hindbrain into saying, "Hey, we're in danger. We gotta activate. We gotta do something."
Now there are other people in the room. I know somebody's going to save my life. We all seen the video where the guy has the big bar in his chest and he can't get it off. Eventually, someone comes and saves. I've had to save people like that all the time.
But your hindbrain doesn't know that's going to happen.
Yeah, correct. Right. So what happens is, what are you doing in that instance? What you're doing is you're tricking your brain to going back to a survival scenario. This is what being in the military does. This is what jumping out of an airplane does. This is what lifting heavy weights does. This is what being competitive. Like I would venture to say playing on the offensive line in a high school football team or a college football team is a survival scenario in between the whistles. The closer you can get your mind back to that survival scenario, the more your body's going to say, we need to produce testosterone.
Well, I've experienced that doing martial arts my whole life. I mean, I have a double black belt. And so, even though I know this is just sparring and this guy's not going to kill me, in the middle of that competitive scenario, someone's, whether it's kickboxing or jujitsu, someone's choking you out, your hindbrain's saying, okay, this is danger.
It's such a visceral thing.
That it's a sparring session.
Yeah, I recommend. So a lot of people, I don't recommend get into a sparring session because they're going to get hit and it just doesn't work well for them. Like I've done that. I did that for a long time. I used to teach martial arts. What I do recommend everyone do is train jujitsu a little bit, because when you feel someone actually put their arm around your neck the first time when you start training jujitsu and you come to the realization, like, there's no way for me to get out of this, that is as close to a survival scenario. Like you are really, the first couple times after you've done it for a while and you just tap, you get used to it. But the first couple times, you are coming face to face with death. You are understanding that without a knife or a gun, this person that you just met, this Brazilian guy that you just met, who's who's got a fucking black belt and sitting there with his gi, literally could kill you if he wanted to, and that without very little effort and leaving very little evidence, he could kill you. And you come to that realization, and it's very frightening, but that realization brings you closer to survival scenario. And after you do it, and by the way, once you fight off a couple of those rear naked chokes and those guillotines, you start saying, wow, like that's another survival scenario. I know that I can survive this situation, And I think getting closer to those scenarios as often as we can, and it's harder when you get older because you start having joint degeneration. Your joints start to degenerate. Testosterone does not fix joints, just to let you guys know. One of the issues I've had is when I'm still 45 with a messed up shoulder, a messed up hip, and a messed up knee. When I'm 45 and I'm weighing 237 pounds, and it's all muscle, that's a problem because I have to carry 237 pounds. So this summer, I actually try to cut my calories down. So maybe 1,900 calories a day. I'm trying to get down to like 211, just for the simple fact, I'm not trying to impress women anymore. What I'm doing is I want to get my frame small enough to where I'm carrying less weight so that if I want to play basketball, I can do so and not have to carry 240 pounds around. and just be a little bit quicker off the dribble. Just not put as much strain on my hip or my knee. I have sciatica. So I in order to do that, the testosterone, while it fixes your muscles, I'm still running around in a 45-year-old frame, 45-year-old skeleton. And so that is one of the issues I'll tell you. The other thing is, I'll just be honest with you. You're going to have a lot of sex. If you have a girlfriend, or you start dating a super hot girlfriend, and you're going to throw your fucking hip out and pull a hamstring and all that kind of stuff. Like that'll say you're still a 55-year-old man, fucking a 27-year-old. You're still going to hurt your back. Like those kind of things still happen. You still have to stretch. You still have to hydrate. You still have to watch what you eat, and you still have your old skeleton. It's just your muscles grow quicker, and your ability to perceive things, your ability to focus, it's just very sharp, very much like when you were, it's the reason why most Navy SEAls, when they're enlisted, they're in their early to mid 20s.
Right.
That's the reason why,
Well, I haven't thrown my hip out yet, but
well, I don't know. Are you 45? No. I'm not saying throw your hip out. I just like.
No, I'm joking. No, I'm 42. I'm going to turn 43, but I am. I decided this year I'm going to do at least one more grappling competition. I'm going to do another jiu-jitsu tournament, and because I want to put myself in that scenario, because I know the effects of it, and I'm also aware that, I go train with these younger guys, and I'm feeling it in my joints, and I know that, they're not, but I still want to put myself in that, competitive level to do that.